What's going on, everybody? Look at there. Everything should look right. Everything shouldn't be reversed now. Broke down and bought a GoPro 11. Got it and a few other things to go along with it, and hopefully we'll be getting better at this. I like it so far. There's some things that I'm still learning, but we'll get it all figured out. Finally got a day to come out to the shop. Been sick. Everybody's been sick for a few weeks. Kids have been all fighting the flu. I just got over it, and it hit me kind of hard, but we're gonna be all right. Everything's getting better, and just keep moving forward. Today, we're gonna work on this right here. Hopefully, we'll get to do a little work on this, get a little closer. Winter's coming up. We're going to try and get this going before it gets too cold. This is just an old Energy King, old wood burner that a friend of mine had that I ended up getting from him a few years back. It does have a external blower back there. I don't know if you can't see it under that light, but there's an external blower. Comes up under this cavity here, and then it blows air out through that top of it there. So, move this thing. There's the blazer. So one of the things we've got to do is, for one, we got to get it out of this corner, and we have to do some work here. I've got to cut this whole top out. I'm going to leave about inch and a half of room because I actually need to move this hole this way. Okay. The reason I need to move this hole is I need to be able to get my force-fed air line, or my air feed line, and my oil in here. I need to put it as close to center as I can get it, just for simplicity's sake. Because in here, when we make our burn chamber, it'll be right in here. And it's just closer for me to grab and easier to get a hold of. Had to take 4 of the bricks out, and I'm gonna have to cut my chamber down to make this work correctly, and I gotta get rid of that because it's just gonna make life hard, especially when cleaning time comes. For the burn chamber, or diffuse chamber, however you want to call it, all I've got is just a couple of rollers here. That one's off of this is off of like a 05 F350. I'm pretty sure it's off Bub's old truck. And then this is just off of an S10. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm gonna have to do here is I'm gonna have to get rid of this, or I want to get rid of this. I would love to take this to work with me and machine this down all the way flush. And then I'll make another piece and weld this up. So more or less, when the oil comes in, it'll hit in this cavity here, and it has nowhere else to go. But if it did run over, I mean, it can come down, and I'll have a catch pan under there, ready to go to catch it if it ever runs away from me. But this is good thick cast iron. Or whatever I'm pretty sure it's cast iron. But it's good thick material is what I'm more or less getting at here. And I weld this up I can have, just like I said, a spot here, and it'll constantly blow and it'll hold heat. And if you can keep the burn chamber hot, the less oil it will take to consume, because the surrounding area is already hot. You're already accelerating it with air as it is. So now we can kind of, just cut back on our fuel consumption and just make it a more efficient stove. I do plan to kind of weld all the lug nuts up, studs up. I'll have to cut it here and here just to ensure that it fits really good. And then what we'll do is we'll take this other rotor and set it on top of it. Okay, so now my oil feed line will come in here, which it'll be inside of my air line, which all it's going to be is just a piece of black pipe force fed from the blower. We'll push in, and then my copper tubing will be inside of it. Copper has a pretty high melting rate anyway, so I'm not really worried about it melting. My last one that I did just fine, and all I had was like a little $20 Brown, a $20 Brown bathroom ceiling fan, and it did just fine. The only thing I didn't like about it was I couldn't control it. It was just on off. I didn't have a potentiometer switch in it or anything. It was just straight 120 volts, ran wide open, just like the one in your bathroom. With this one, with the blower I'm looking at off Amazon, I can control it a little better. Just kind of helps tune in a little better. If I need to back off the air a little bit, maybe need to add a little fuel, it's all going to work out just fine. The thing, it's just more control. That's all. That's the main thing I'm after there. So with that said, it's mainly going to have the blower forge blower. It's one thing I got to buy. Some black pipe. I got a friend that's got a 55-gallon drum that I'm going to use, or he's given me, for holding the oil. And then I just got to get a bucket they make these like a little petcock valve that you can put in these buckets, seals it. I used it on my last one and did fine. I'm gonna just hang, I got this old hanger here, that's how I held my old one up, and I had a water stopper. I'm gonna get rid of that, but I'm just gonna hang it on the wall here. It's gravity feed, come in, and well, the blower will probably be underneath it, but as it comes in here, I'm just gonna have a T, okay? The air is gonna come in and force it down, and then I'm gonna have my oil come in, and it's gonna go right in the top of this T, because this T is gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna reduce it down, and then I'll set my I'll cut a hole in the top of that, and then it'll go down into the burn chamber. So all we're doing is we are just accelerating it, force feeding it is more or less what we're doing. This is a force fed oil heater. I like these better personally. I had it atmospherically. What I mean by atmospherically is I just let it kind of do its own thing. I kind of controlled the draft of it, but if that thing ever runs away, which it can do, I had it happen, that can get ugly quick. And it's, I keep a fire extinguisher handy, but with the force fed, it goes to acting stupid. All you gotta do is kill the air, and you take all the oxygen out of the fire. It's done. And shut your oil off, and then kind of contain it. Get it going back where it needs to go, and then you can go again. They're pretty simple. A lot of people over in Europe, Ireland, all them, Jerry's DIY. Man, that dude's a freaking nut when it comes to these things. If he's not paragliding, he's building an oil heater, and he builds an oil heater out of anything. Him and Two Jeffs One, another great guy. Two Jeffs Ones is phenomenal. If I could ever get mine like that, that would be sweet, because his is the only thing he has to do is manually start it. That's it. The rest of his is it's controlled by a thermostat. He regulates the heat. He's got like a thing up in his attic, got like a moat around it, and he's got where he changes oil. It takes the oil up in there top. I mean, it's real fancy, way fancier than I'll ever get. I'll be just happy with a 55-gallon drum and a hand pump. When my old one, actually, I'll take you out there. The old one that we had, or that I had in the shop, it was not an insulated stove at all. It was not. It was simply a 1/4-inch plate wood stove that some buddy of mine welded together, and it did good. I used that as my old one, and it did phenomenal. Once you got heat in that thing, it was there. The back of the shop here, but there it is. And all that thing is just a rock solid 1/4-inch plate steel. That's it. No insulation whatsoever. There's a hole I had in it. And I used to have an old toolbox that sat there. I don't know, it kind of made me leery after a while having it up there, you know, because things heat up, heat travels and everything, and it would warm the heat up, or warm the oil up. It just kind of made me nervous a little bit. But anyway, I would set a bunch of drums and rotors on this thing to help radiate heat. And when me and Cody was working, it was in the middle of winter. It was snowing outside. We were in the shop, cut off sleeve shirts and shorts, sweating. This thing did a good job. The only thing that could have been better, I guess, is if some way of radiating the heat, I guess, better, like forcing the air across it. I did have an old like little box fan right there that would push air across the flue, you know, keeps your EGTs down a little bit. You know, I did monitor my EGTs a lot. That's just something I was a little worried with. You just gotta keep an eye on that stuff, and you do have to kind of clean your flue out a little more frequently, which I'm a stickler about that. But yeah, we'll start working on that burn chamber here in a minute, and maybe make some progress.